Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. Oh my gosh, you guys, I went to go listen to this podcast episode because, as you'll hear, what I'm about to say is you will listen to this podcast episode. I feel it in my bones over and over again. Like, this will be the podcast episode that you come back to time and time again. If you need, a boost of energy, motivation, if you're feeling good about business, but you want to feel extraordinary, like this is the podcast that's going to get you there. And so I was listening to my own advice and I went to listen to this podcast this morning and I pressed play and it was just literally nothing. Nothing for 17 minutes. I guess it recorded, it just didn't have the sound on. So I'm taking that as a sign, as the universe was like, we want you to redo it and we want you to redo it even freaking better. So here we are. So remember, when you have challenges in your business and you record a whole masterclass and it doesn't end up recording, don't take it as, oh my gosh, like this is so annoying. Take it as, okay, this happened for a reason. And the universe obviously thinks that I can do a better job the second time around. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. Today's episode is why comparing yourself is keeping you stuck. I'm obsessed with this topic because I just see it so much in the industry. And I really, really know to my core that this is the thing that keeps people either, where they're at and it's keeping them from where they want to be. Like, honestly, right? So it's either that you are comparing yourself or that you are realizing that there is no one to compare to, that it's you versus you. And the story I'm going to tell today really just blows my mind and it tickles my brain and just gets this across in such an incredible way that, like, there is no competition. And the people that you see that are in front of you can one day be behind you. But that doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, it's just you impacting the lives that you want to help. And that's all that matters. There's an abundance of clients on this earth that need your help from you. And if you're not out there freaking selling your ass off, they're not going to find you. So I see this with so many clients. I see this with so many people in my audience. And, it happens to all of us where we just wake up in the morning and we scroll on our Instagram and we see post after post about the highlight reel of other people's businesses, how incredible they're doing, how short it took them to get there and all this stuff. And what's happening is every time you're seeing these posts and you're comparing yourself to these people, it is lowering your self-worth. Right. And so you are deciding that you are so far from your goals and that you should be farther along. And it's making you feel like, why would someone buy from me when they can just buy from this other person? And you don't realize how much it's wreaking havoc over your brain. And business is 80 freaking percent mindset. I know that. I live and breathe that. And so if your mindset is getting affected by these posts, then what happens is you're not going to show up as the leader and as the person of value and as the person who knows that there are people out there who need their services from them. You're not going to show up as that person and your clients aren't going to be able to find you. And when you realize that there is no such thing as comparison, like for real, if we got dropped on this earth, I always say this, and they didn't tell us that we need to find a partner or we need to, have a career or we need to, go to the gym, any of those things, we would just be like on this earth having the time of our lives, right? It was just that one day someone put this into our mind that like, this is what we needed to do. And that's how we got here. But when you really realize that there is no comparison, no one is farther along than you, right? There is no one ahead of you. It's all your own journey in life, and whatever path you take to get there is how you get there. But when you compare yourself to everyone else on the internet, that leads to honestly you wrecking your whole mindset, and it could end up with you, quitting before you even make it to where you're supposed to be. So let's get into this incredible story. I love finding stories online that just tickle my brain and make me be like, oh my gosh, like these huge companies that we use every single day, like they were once like us. And so the truth is, you're currently comparing yourself to Blockbuster when you're the next Netflix. This story is going to blow your mind. In 2000, Blockbuster executives laughed Netflix out the room when Netflix asked Blockbuster to buy them for $50 million. And can you guess what happened next? Blockbuster has now dwindled down to one store, which I'm so devastated about because I loved going to Blockbuster on Fridays with my mom and picking out the DVD that I was going to watch that night. Like, oh my gosh, so many memories. But anyways, Blockbuster has now dwindled down to one store and Netflix is valued at over $150 billion. Let me say that again. Blockbuster in 2000 laughed Netflix out of the freaking room for asking them to buy them for $50 million. Now, Netflix is valued at over $150 billion with a B. That's insane. And so granted, at the time that Netflix, was like, you guys should buy us, they weren't profitable, right? And so the amount seemed too high for Netflix. The amount seemed too high for Blockbuster to buy them because they were like, what are you guys talking about? Like, you are not even profitable yet. Why would we buy you for $50 million? But here's the thing. Netflix knew their worth and they added freaking tax. And so here's what we can learn from this $150 billion mistake, other than karma's a bitch. I've been obsessed with karma, you guys. If you have any good karma stories, come into my DMs, tell me, because you guys know I'm obsessed with manifesting. But like karma, I'm getting really obsessed with her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my second obsession. Like she's that bitch. Like you can sit back and relax and karma will take care of everything for you. So back to what we were talking about. Netflix did a couple things, and that's the reason why they are here today. These are the characteristics that I always see of the people who are most successful, and that's exactly what Netflix did to be able to surpass their competition and someone who was at the top of the industry. And so the first thing Netflix did is they didn't let the opinions of other people stop them from where they were going, right? They kept their blinders on. They kept investing in their business, even when it wasn't profitable. They knew where they were headed, and they stayed committed to their goals for years, if not decades, right? So this happened in 2000 and now it's 2024. I want you guys to zoom out on your business and stop thinking about what do I need to say to attract clients? Like whose Instagram do I need to look at and copy their, a piece of content to get where I'm going? No, right? You're thinking about the day-to-day when we want to zoom out and be like, where are we going in the next freaking 10 years? Because we're going to be here forever. And so they were willing to do things differently, right? This is another huge advantage. And they're willing to try something new. So many times when we're comparing ourselves to everyone else, we're just doing what everyone else has done. And so you can't actually come up with something new or be yourself or be your most authentic self when you're looking at what everyone else is doing because you're just subconsciously copying their message, right? And so they tried online streaming. And even though at the time people thought it was a crazy idea, they trusted their desires. And this is the difference, right? They were laughed out the freaking room at Blockbuster, but they didn't care. They knew where they were going. They trusted their desires. And because of that, they were like, it's fine that this happened, right? You guys are laughing right now, but you won't be one day. And the truth is, you're only crazy till you're right. You guys know the story. I literally quit my job, told my dad that I got fired. He still has no idea because he really wanted me to be in corporate America. And then 6 months later, when I hit my first 10K month, he was bragging about me on the phone to his friends. And so I want you to remember that you are only crazy till you're freaking right. And here's the thing, they were in it for the long haul. I have this graph that shows that from 2000 to 2010, they had subscribers only in the 20,000s, right? And then it was crazy because in 2011, they started getting subscribers in the millions. And they had this huge jump. And so I think this is so important to talk about because so many people think that, people are an overnight success and they actually can't see that they've been working at this for years. And it wasn't, and Netflix, I think it said it started in 1998 or something crazy. And they've been working at this for years. And then there's just all of a sudden where they went from, 2010 to 2011, when it went from thousands of subscribers to millions. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's an overnight success. It's like, no, they were like working and working and working. And then it's like finally people caught the freaking boat on them and then you just skyrocket. Like I think about Alex Earl all the time and how she's like, I was posting videos for a while and people didn't catch on till she was her most authentic self and showed herself with, acne all over her face, right? No one was doing that at the time. And so I want you guys to see how she decided to do something differently and stop watching everyone else. And that's how she skyrocketed. And so here's the truth. So many business owners are comparing themselves to everyone else in the industry, right? And this comparison is stopping you from being you. I've had clients surpass me because I'm good at what I do, right? And I don't make my accomplishments their limit for success. And so many people are looking at people in the industry being like, okay, that's like the only place I could go, right? That's the top of the top. But in reality, like sky's the freaking limit when you stop comparing yourself to someone. It's actually so funny because my friend did a push-up contest this weekend and she was like, she came out of the gym and there was a push-up contest going on and you could win $1,500 to use that a credit at your gym. And she was like, oh my God, I'm doing this. And so she was like, thank God I didn't go first because the first person, they were the ones to really set the tone. So that first person did like 20 push-ups. So after that, she was like, oh my gosh, if I went first, I wouldn't have really tried that hard. And so she went all out and she ended up doing 45 push-ups. And what I realized from that in business is like you are looking at someone else for like sky's the limit, but looking at someone else for like the limit, but the truth is like sky's the limit, right? Like there is no limit to the things that you can have. And so you can look at it more of like this person came before me, but like where can I get to? Like how many millions of lives can I help? Like how can I change this industry forever? Like how can I make this better? Like how can I get people better results? Like these are things. And it's not about money. It's not about, how many clients can I serve? It's not about, vanity metrics and follows and all those things are incredible and it goes into having an amazing business. But at the end of the day, it's like, how can I change the lives of so many more people? How can I bring a different message that people wouldn't even think of in this industry? Because I started asking myself, like, what are my values? Like, how can I change the Instagram and the world? Like, it can be so much bigger than these small things that you're thinking about. And so, anyways, I've also had clients who are making more money than me hire me because of who I am being. Right? It's like buying Netflix stock before it takes off. So I've had people who are, making more money than me. When I was starting out, I actually had someone who was already making six figures when I was nowhere near that. And I was like, are you sure you want to like buy from me? And she was like, yes, it's because of your values, your conviction, like what you talk about. Like I resonate with all those things so much. And when you realize that, that also takes you out of competition. It's like, you don't have to, have better results than someone for someone to hire you, right? It's about the things that you're talking about and how people resonate with it. And when you realize that, it's like, again, there is no competition because anyone can hire you at any level. And that's the most exciting part. And this person came to me and they had the most incredible experience because they were like, you listened to me, like you understood. And I got everything out of this that I wanted. And I'm so glad that I went with your coaching because I was so sick of, just hiring people for the results that they had. And that's something that I think about daily of like, it's not about the testimonials, the results, all that stuff. It's about who you are being, the message you're getting across, and your values. And so many people think to themselves, like, I am nowhere near anyone else. And I've been doing this for a while, right? When in reality, it takes years to build a business. And the only reason you think that is because you're comparing yourself to other people's journeys. When you get rid of imaginary timelines, when you keep your blinders on, when you keep investing in yourself and believe in your dreams, even if they seem batshit crazy, that's when people look back and they realize that they missed the boat on you. And here's the thing, Netflix isn't here today because other people believed in them or their circumstances looked like it was working, because their circumstances did not look like it was working. They're here today because of their belief in themselves, who they continued to show up as regardless of their circumstances, and their resilience, right? And now 20 years later, Netflix has the last laugh, right? And the coolest part is like Netflix is the reason that we have everything else now. Peacock, like all the other streaming services. And if they didn't decide that they were incredible and that people were going to need them when no one knew who they were, then we wouldn't have all those things today. And that's the truth of like a trailblazer. And so I just think this is so exciting. And I wanted to tell one more story about this show that I watched on Netflix. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't even realize, called Untold. And I love the Untold series so much. If you guys haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. It's documentaries about sports, which is surprising for me because I'm not a huge sport girly, but I love documentaries. And so this one documentary is about this tennis player named Mardy Fish. And I think this really brings home the whole, moral of the story that I'm trying to get to in this podcast episode. And Mardy Fish was a tennis player who was best friends with Andy Roddick. And his whole life, Andy Roddick beat him. And he always saw Andy Roddick as like he was always less than Andy Roddick. And no matter what, Andy Roddick was always going to beat him. And he just saw it like that in his mind. It was like a limiting belief until he realized, like, wait, if I instead decided that I was worthy to be in this room and I trained like everyone else and I hired the trainer, I invested in the trainer, I stayed committed, I worked out extra days, I put in the blood, sweat, and tears. And he was like, if I just actually excelled myself and did the things that they were doing and worked just as hard as them, maybe I would make it. And so he did this. He literally for months transformed his life and was like, wait, I need to get better at my skill. I need to invest more. I need to work out. I need to strengthen. I need to become the self-identity of the person who is, incredible at tennis. And he did this and he ended up making it to the world finals and surpassing Andy Roddick. And the crazy thing is your mind will play tricks on you. Your mind will tell you that you will never, succeed this person. And when you realize that it's not about the person, it's about you putting your blinders on and getting committed in your own business and taking the steps that you need to take and accessing those qualities of like the people who succeed are the ones that invest in themselves over and over again. They're committed. They're committed for months, if not years, if not decades. They stay the course. They believe in themselves. Like they keep shifting back to this feeling of worthiness. When you realize that it's about the qualities and then you cancel everything out, you become this person and sky's the limit. I always tell you guys about the 4-minute mile, how they said it was humanly impossible for someone to run a 4-minute mile. And then someone decided to visualize themselves running this 4-minute mile and decide to see it as something that was possible. And then they ran a 4-minute mile, which is insane. And then after that, people run 4-minute miles all the time because someone decided that it was possible. So this could be you in your business. So this is my favorite episode I've ever done. I truly love it. And I just want you to know, like, there's no comparison. You are in your own lane. You are incredible. You know what you're doing. Like you are meant for this. And once you realize that you are here on purpose and that there's nothing in your path, nothing, then you actually get to where you're going. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that my signature course, my freaking baby dream business accelerator. The price is going up in 2 freaking days. And it's going up to really reflect the value I provide and the investments that I continue to make in myself. And it's one of those things where it's like, you're going to wish that you were in now because the price is just going to keep going up. And it's just like Netflix, the stock. And so I've had incredible clients who've gone through this and this is a testimonial. They've said, you're amazing. The service and support you've given DBA is better than I've gotten working with other coaches. You're reliable, you're detailed, and you're supportive. I can't believe the value I get from DBA. Giving the price and just want to say thank you so much for being you. So if you want a home base, if you want to really scale your business to 5 to 10K months, have your first 6-figure year, you want a community, you want my eyes on your business, then DBA is literally the place for you. It comes with incredible stuff. It's literally a $17,000 value for like I don't even know what that is, like a fifth of the price for $3,000. And so it's insane. And so if you want to be in DBA, just message me. There's 6 months of group coaching where you get my eyes and ears on your business, 6 months, no rush, because that's what you really need to, be able to hone your mindset and be able to actually develop the skills that you will have to last a lifetime while you're building these empires. All the modules, there's a Slack channel, there's just everything. So if you want more information, just message me on Instagram. But if you know that you just want more of me and you want more of, the magic that I spew and you want to be in my world, I would freaking love to have you. So if you feel called, just message me. But I just want to let you guys know I love you and you are worthy. You are incredible. And I'm just so happy that you listened to this episode. And if you ever need anything, my DMs are always open. So Have the most amazing freaking day.